On the face of it, it would seem to be some significant new revelations here. This man, Christian B., 45-year-old, I think he is now, has for the last couple of years been considered the prime suspect. So police have known that he worked in the area around the Algarve and Praia da Luz, where Madeleine McCann disappeared in 2007. In fact, on the 3rd of May this year, it's going to be 15 years since she disappeared.
It feels like yesterday.
It's incredible and very sad to actually mark that milestone when it happens. And there's been no trace of Madeleine since then. This man, as I say, the police believe is responsible for her abduction and her murder. They've been able to establish that he was in the Praia da Luz area around about the time that Madeleine disappeared. But lots of evidence, which is effectively not key evidence that could convict him, but circumstantial evidence altogether, sounds pretty compelling. But the latest evidence to add to that list of, well, it's not coincidences, it's mounting evidence, is an interview that this documentary for the German satellite channel Sat1 did with someone who has previously not been interviewed by the police, and they have confirmed that this man was a handyman. He did some work for the hotels in and around Praia da Luz, including the Ocean Club, where Madeleine McCann and her family were staying when she disappeared on the 3rd of May 2007. And he was there in the weeks and months prior to her disappearance.
So why, given the scrutiny of the world's cameras and media, the family's spotlight being kept on this story for so long, was this interview never conducted before by the police?
The police have said they've thanked the satellite broadcaster for a start for coming up the documentary. They said they acknowledged there are some people that just don't want to talk to prosecutors or the police, that maybe will speak to the media. That's what they seem to have done in this case. So their findings, the interviews that have been done, are going to be passed to the German authorities. This man, Christian B., is serving a 7-year jail term in northern Germany. He was convicted of drug dealing and also of the rape of a 72-year-old American tourist in Praia da Luz 2 years before Madeleine McCann disappeared. As I say, he was a drifter, a handyman, but also a petty criminal involved in drug dealing and involved in, we understand, breaking into hotel apartments and alike to steal whatever he could. So the theory that the police have been working on is that on that evening that Madeleine disappeared, he was breaking into those apartments with a view to stealing something, happened across Madeleine McCann and took that opportunity. They have lots of circumstantial evidence, no key fact as yet. Another interesting element to the documentary is some cell site analysis from the mobile phone. Now, we know he had a mobile phone. The police have been able to trace the mobile phone to the Praia da Luz area around about the time that Madeleine McCann disappeared. Well, according to the documentary, they've done some more detailed examination of the cell site information and have been able to place the location that he was at within a 5-minute drive of Madeleine McCann at the time she disappeared. How
amazing that that cell site analysis then could still be doable all this time after. That's incredible.
Yeah, no, it is. It just shows you that, you know, you get enough pieces together that could be a compelling case that's put before the courts. We don't know if this will ever reach the courts, but, you know, the very fact that the German prosecutors have come out so publicly and said, he's our key suspect, we believe, sadly, that Madeleine has been murdered. They won't share the information that they have that leads them to that conclusion. Certainly, Madeleine's parents have been advised of that. As far as Scotland Yard is concerned, remember, it is also conducting a tandem investigation. It's been going on for about a decade at the cost of about £11 million. They are still officially terming it a missing persons investigation because they just don't have the compelling evidence to say one way or the other whether Madeleine is alive.
And you talked about German prosecutors. If it did ever go to court, would it be in Germany or would it be in Portugal, based on this current investigation?
It would be a German prosecution, yes. So it would be in Germany. They are the lead on this case at the moment. The Portuguese have long since given up after a very bungled investigation, amateurish investigation in the early months after Madeleine disappeared. If Scotland Yard had the key evidence, then, you know, it could be something they took primacy on. But at the moment, It's being led by German prosecutors who are assembling all of this very compelling evidence that's coming to light.
Okay.